New Year, everyone. Hello and welcome back to another edition of Listen Up a Minute. I'm your host, John Dowl, and I have with me our co-founder and executive producer, Mr. Larry Brown, who's joining us. Larry, thanks for joining us.
I had to join you on this segment, John, because, hey, you know, what we're all about at Listen Up a Minute is actually making a positive difference, not just in our local area and statewide area, but nationwide. And I've known Dr. Dowl as a colleague in the Petersburg Public School and on other projects that we've worked on to better the community. Yeah. And I particularly wanted to be a part of this interview with Dr. Dowl. And I've seen his dynamic son in action as well, Christian. So even though I love being behind the camera these days, I just wanted to be sitting beside these two dynamic individuals on this particular interview.
Well, glad to have you. Now, Dr. Dowl, good to see you again. Happy New Year to you. And Christian, good to see you again. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, John, you know, we go back a little while. Yeah. We've done a couple interviews, and so we've had an opportunity to work on a few projects together as well. Like Larry had shared earlier. So I'm an educator, author, most importantly a father, and someone who enjoys reaching back, helping, lifting others up, just creating opportunities to help others move forward in whatever endeavor they're trying to do. Similar to shows like this. So when we have an opportunity to do shows like this, it's just such a delight.
Tell us a little bit about that first book you wrote when we did the interview at the radio station. I know it was a while back, but it was such a positive book. And we brought you on for a second interview, and the phone lines just lit up from that story that you
And that
told.
Was actually your first book? You've written a lot of books.
That was my first book. And John, you know, I didn't think about that until John just said something. The book was called Nothing Substitutes Time, and the book was about fathers. And so I would say the overarching theme behind the book was, again, the key word being nothing substitutes time. Spending time with your children. And fathers get a bad rap. You know, Mother's Day, you know, you're going to get bunches of flowers and cards, dinner, a whole lot of treats. But dads, man, you kind of get, you know, you might get a happy Father's Day. You might get a pair of socks here and there. If you get a card, you're lucky.
Yep.
So, you know, there are some great fathers out there. And so I know Larry's a great dad. I aspire to be a great dad. And so that book, Nothing Substitutes Time, was created because I used this term. I was a fatherless kid because I didn't have a relationship with my dad. And so I wrote that book about how important time was. And so on the cover of that book, I had a father who was successful, who had two kids on that book, which represents Lauren, who's not present, and then Christian, who is present. At the time, Christian was probably about 2 years old. But it showed a dad who was on the phone taking care of business. He's handed his daughter a credit card and some money, and a little boy who's playing basketball, but dad just didn't have time. And so the book was really designed for about 5 dads. The sperm donor, who, you know, it's kind of obvious, he's just donated some things and he's out. You got the stepdad, who in some cases get a bad rap just because he's a stepdad and not the dad. And then you have the actual dad, sometimes who's in the home, but he's absent. He's there physically, but he plays no role. He didn't go to the school. He didn't go to the doctor's appointments. He doesn't do anything. He's just dad in name alone. So that book was motivated because I wanted to inspire men to enjoy being fathers and taking that active role. Going back to the whole thing is that nothing substitutes time. So spending quality time with your children isn't about, you know, going to the movies, but sitting down at the dinner where you're forced to have a conversation. Kind of like what we're doing today.
Right.
You know, we're having conversations about how to move forward productively and successfully in life. So that's what that was all about. Thanks for bringing that up, Joe. I didn't think about that. I didn't bring that with me today, but you know, that was my beginning with my writing. It kicked everything off for me. It took me 10 years to write that book, and it was really gritty at first, because it wasn't a good experience. So I said, well, how can I make this positive and not look, you know, like gritty? So I wanted to put a positive spin and had a ton of different names. And then the Lord laid upon my heart to say, nothing substitutes time. So,
well, I'm glad you were talking about that, because, you know, my executive partner and founder partner of Listen Up a Minute, Derek Wright, Full Motion Media, I think he's a new dad, relatively new dad. So any tips he can get, I'm sure he would really appreciate it, because being a dad, you know, so critical and important in a child's life. You know, so I'm glad you brought that up. Glad John.
Yeah, I'm glad John brought it. I hadn't thought about it till John said something.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks, John. That was,
you know,
that was the beginning.
when you said dads get a bad rap or don't get a good rap, I thought about John Madden. Do y'all remember? Now you weren't born. But do y'all remember when John Madden was on CBS?
Mm-hmm.
That's when it was just 3 networks: CBS, ABC, NBC. And CBS and NBC had football. ABC had Monday Night Football. CBS had the NFC package. NBC had the AFC package. Well, I'm watching the game one Sunday, and somebody scores a touchdown or makes a great play. And he said, "Hi, Mom. Thanks, Mom. Whatever." And it just went on and on and on. And then one day a guy made a great play and said, "Hey, Dad," and he said, "Hey, that's great. Nobody ever says, 'Hey, Dad,' or 'Thanks, Dad.' Everybody always says, 'Hi, Mom, hi, Mom.'" And I'm like, I wonder if anybody ever thought about that. If anybody sitting at home who's watching a game, does anybody ever notice that these players, none of them ever says, "Hi, Mom, hi, Dad, I love you, Dad, thanks, Dad." It's always, "Hi, Mom, hi, Mom, hi, Mom."
Wow.
Yeah, and
Well, I wonder why.
I think we all know why.
I mean, did Dr. Bollard kind of touch on that with describing those different types of dads?
Yes.
I don't know. So we definitely got to do a better job.
Yeah.
But I'd like for us to kind of back up just for a minute, because we have a dynamic young man here whose dad is here. And, hey, we would like for him to introduce himself, because I'm going to tell you, he is a rising star, and you just never know. We might see him on the national stage real soon, and we're going to talk about why shortly. But if you could kind of introduce yourself, young man.
Yes, sir. My name is Christian Bolar. I am a 6th grader at Elko Middle School. I'm 11 years old. Just a regular normal kid. I play football, play basketball, musically inclined. I play the drums, I play the piano.
But you're a normal kid, though,
Yes,
right?
sir.
With his own talk show and everything
sir.
on CW Network.
That's normal. That's the new normal.
up for a Stellar Award and all that, but you're normal.
Normal.
No, go ahead.
Yes, sir. That you brought it up, I had a TV show with me and my friend Elijah Coles Brown. We had a TV show for 5 weeks. It was called Youthful Voices. Very successful, bringing different people on the show every week.
Like, who are some of the people?
We've had Dr. Cashwell, the woman over all of Henrico, the superintendent.
The new superintendent, right?
Yes,
Of
yes,
what?
sir. Of Henrico County Schools.
Wow.
And it was just an honor. That was one of my favorite experiences with one of her. We talked with her. We just had like a regular conversation, like you guys said at the dinner table, and it was just a great experience because we had great producers. We have our parents backing us up, and
What about BGA? You had Mr. Anderson on.
Yes, BGA. That's what it pushed me into like where I am now with being nominated for a Stellar Award. Just found out today that I'm nominated for a Stellar Award. And
wow.
Yes.
Let's give him a hand. That's fantastic.
Congratulations.
So I found out today, and the Stellar Awards I believe is in March, and I'm in category 24 Youth Project of the Year for my new single Speak It. It's a very powerful song. Here's the CD cover. You have 4 things. You have the Speak It, performance track, instrumental, radio edit, and the regular song. And the song talks about speaking things into existence. The song really revolves around Matthew 4:4, but not just Matthew 4:4. The whole Bible. You have to speak God's word. And with Matthew 4:4, it says, "Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God." And so that means that you have to speak things in your home, in the schools, in the jobs, in the everywhere you go. And this isn't just for grown-ups, but this is for kids, because I'm a kid, and a lot of people say like,
You sure you're a kid now?
yes, sir.
I'm just listening to you.
Really?
Wow. You're in the 6th grade?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely amazing. Go ahead.
A lot of people say like, how do you've gone so far, and you can't do anything but say it was God. And you always have to give God the glory and the honor, because all of this, all of the things that we have today, all the cameras, all of the, just everything. It's from God. And so you have to always thank God. But other than that, what else do I do?
BGA. What about
BGA.
GI.
God's Image. Those 3 men, not just the 3 men, about 5 of them. We have Brandon Anderson, Curtis Langley. All of them, they've been a big impact in my life. Brandon Anderson is my manager, actually. He's been...
Who is Brandon Anderson?
Brandon Anderson he's a member of GI today. They've done a whole lot of songs.
You guys familiar with GI?
I'm not.
GI is God's Image, and if you listen to 104.7, you can't help but hear their songs. It's called Winning. What are some of the songs, Christian? Winning, Praying Don't Worry.
Praying Don't Worry. The album is called Winning. They have Praying Don't Worry. They have, so many.
But they're a huge group
yes.
in Richmond. Three local young men who are just doing a lot of phenomenal things. They're called God's Image. And Mr. Anderson has been working with Christian with the keyboard, I guess, for about 4 years.
Since I was 5.
Okay, he's been doing it for a while now. And he's the owner of BGA. So BGA has given Christian a number of opportunities to open up for their show. For God's Image, whenever they have a CD release, Christian comes on and performs and opens up. Sheila Bell is very instrumental with their program, and
this radio talk show host.
Yeah, radio talk show host. And so God's Image is a pretty big local group, but now they were nominated for a Stellar Awards last year for which song was it, Christian?
I think it was Praying Don't Worry.
And so those guys have been letting Christian sit in on their shows. He filled in for who you filled in for last?
Mr. Rufus Johnson.
His voice was messed up. They did an open concert.
It was for the video release for Praying.
For the video release. I don't know if you saw the video, but really nice video they have out. And they did a release, and so they asked Christian if he would fill in for one of the songs, and he got an opportunity to go in with the group and actually sing. So he thinks he's the 4th member. So he said, I know all the songs, and so if y'all need me, let me know.
But when we were working with Mega International Records recording artist Hal Miles out of Petersburg, Virginia on the Pull Your Pants Up project, and we had a community seminar about the Pull Your Pants Up project.
We sure did.
Because it was so much more than just about Pull Your Pants Up, about staying in school and also respecting adults, respecting self and all that. I remember your son recited a poem there. And how old was he then?
He was 4.
Because
he was 4.
He was so dynamic. So I already predicted that this young man was, going to be something to reckon with as he got older. So it's come to be already.
God has been good. He has definitely blessed this little fellow with quite a bit of gifts and talents.
So is it all about genes and chromosomes, or what is this about?
Man, as much as I'd like to say it was about genes and chromosomes, his DNA goes pretty thick. I don't know if you're familiar with the Harmonizing Four.
Oh, absolutely.
His grandfather was on that group with the Harmonizing Four. I don't know if you know Lonnie Liston Smith.
Come on, man.
Oh, Lord.
That's his uncle.
Come on, we don't know Lonnie Liston Smith.
So Lonnie Liston Smith, he's got another uncle, and he was a child prodigy. I said the Harmonizing Four, Lonnie Liston Sr. had 3 sons, and all 3 of those sons were extremely gifted. Lonnie Liston was one of the sons. His grandfather, Ray Smith Sr., I don't know if you ever heard of A Little Bit of Soap. But he had a song called.
He keep on saying, have you ever heard of it? A little bit of something.
Yeah, so that's his grandfather. Lonnie Liston is his uncle, which is him and it's 3 men. And their 3rd brother was a child prodigy at 8. So we looked at all of these. We went back and looked at stuff. What's your uncle? What's his? I can't think of it.
I call him Uncle Donald.
Uncle Donald, that's who it is. Uncle Donald was a child prodigy at 8. So these 3 phenomenal young men did some really wonderful things, like his grandfather again was Ray, and then Ray Smith Sr., and then his uncle is Lonnie Liston, who's a jazz artist right out of Chesterfield. So,
absolutely.
And then Donald, he had it
Lonnie
all.
Liston Smith, I tell you.
He could sing, he could play, and so his grandfather got the singing. Uncle Lonnie got to play, and then Donald got all of it, and then Christian comes along. It skips a generation to a degree. His mom, his brother his uncle could sing, but it kind of, came and lay dormant until Christian started doing stuff. And so now his Uncle Lonnie works with him a little. His Uncle Donald sees him a lot. And his grandfather, Ray Smith, does a lot. And they're still, with the Jarmels, after 53, 54 years, something like that, they're still going to PBS and New York. And these men are 70 plus, and they sound awesome.
So you're trying to age me now, huh? Because I know them so well.
Well, I'm just saying,
work. Okay, I got you. Everybody thought I was 25. Okay.
Oh,
thank you for letting everybody know. But I'm happy to be among the senior citizens. Trust me, because I didn't have to be here.
Well, we're talking about DNA, and so I was saying his DNA goes pretty deep because having them just in his life. Now he didn't get to see them in their prime, but he gets to hang around them. They don't talk music; they just talk jive. But he has that kind of DNA that runs through his veins. So
well, I'm proud. I'm a proud 1969 graduate of Lucy Allison High School in Roanoke, Virginia. Love Lucy Allison High School Bulldogs. But hey, and then transplanted to Petersburg, Virginia. And I'm a proud Trojan. Went to Virginia
That's
State,
right.
got my undergrad degree there, master's degree at Virginia State. I'm a real proud Trojan, and proud to have been a part of the Petersburg Public Schools for so long. My wife and I retired from there, and man, so we know. Other than DNA and chromosomes, it's all about community and teamwork, your co-workers, grandparents, uncles, aunts. It's the whole gamut of experience, in the neighborhood, preachers, teachers, and everyone, where we can get a positive result, like this young man right here. Am I right? And, and one thing that I tell everyone that I can when I have an opportunity to speak is your life must have purpose. And you can't just live your life by accident and then think that you're going to make a big difference, not just in your life and the lives of others, by accident. Mm-hmm. You need to have a purpose and you need to have a plan. Kind of talk about that and how all that has happened in your lives.
Well,
in the Bolar family. And in his,
as John brought it earlier, my first book was Nothing Substitutes Time, and so it was extremely important for me to be a good father. The goal is to be a great father. That's my goal. But to be a good father, I understood the importance of time, and so you can do a whole lot of stuff at that time. You can go and do football, basketball, but how much time do you invest talking and then allowing them to talk? And so a part of what my goal has always been was to reach back and give to others. So that's why I stay in the education setting, because you get the opportunity to meet so many different personalities. But even more so to be able to give back to somebody who you're going to have with you for the rest of your life. And so Christian and I have, we don't have a great friendship, but I think we have a great father and son relationship. Because at times, you have to, put the expectations out there. Like Christian and I was just talking about goals, remember? And so his responsibility was, okay, what are your goals for this year? What's one of your goals you set for this year?
One of the goals I set was to win the Stellar Award.
And
right
and that was a pretty big goal. So at that point when he set that goal, we didn't know he would be a nominee. So he's now a nominee, which I didn't realize how big being a nominee was,
But I need to ask this question, though, to Christian and to you. Did you write it down? Because someone told me along the way now, I mean, you have to speak it, you have to write it down, you have to share it. If you really wanted to become your goals to become a reality, you can't just keep them on the inside of you. I want you to answer that question. Did you write it down or did you just speak it?
I wrote it down.
All right, man. You wrote it down.
Gotta write it down, and even taking it further, it's good to put it in a place where you're going to see it. So our goal was to put it in the bathroom mirror or the refrigerator. Mm-hmm. So you have to walk by it. The powerful thing about Christian song is that it's called Speak It, which goes on a whole different level, spiritually, and depends on where you are. So Speak It was so instrumental in my life. Let me say it like that, because Brandon Anderson, who is Christian's manager, actually he wrote the song he wrote the song, but Christian's background singers are phenomenal. Joseph, what's Joseph's last name?
Joseph Clark and Shakita Cross.
They are phenomenal. They went in the studio, and it was just like, I hadn't been in the studio myself, but we went in the studio, and the things that they were able to do and then deposit and show him, it was a blessing because they're doing a lot of big things. Like, they're back, they did something, they were on Today's Show. Was it America?
Virginia This Morning.
No, not Virginia This Morning.
No, not Virginia This Morning.
They were on there, but they were on Good Morning America.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Because of their harmonizing group and some of the songs they sung, and they've been on tour across the country, and so they come in with all this background, and then they work with a guy who's getting started, giving them tips, showing them how to do it, and then they're his background singers. So these people are pretty huge, so they're reaching back. Joseph Clark and is it Joseph Clark? Okay, Joseph Clark and Shakita Cross.
Now, your family is the origin of your family right here in Virginia, and what part of Virginia, if that's so? And I'm asking that question because so many people who write books or who write songs or who want to be in the entertainment business, they think you can't be from or live in Virginia and make those things happen in a big way, whether nationally or internationally. But what about that mind expansion? Because everybody has to live somewhere, and everybody can't live in New York and California, Los Angeles,
some
anything like
exotic
that.
place to be successful.
Right.
Yeah,
So expand on that a little bit, and how does that happen when you actually reside here, right here in Virginia?
Funny you mentioned that. Sheila Bell, the co-host, Sheila Bell, the radio
Everyone has heard of her, of course. Dynamic personality, make a lot of great things happen.
We were just talking about, open audiences, not just she and I, but just talking about the challenge that it is to be from Richmond, Virginia in particular, to do big things. And so and this was on the 20th reunion for God's Image.
Right.
They've been, I didn't know they'd been around that long, but they started when they were in high school. And so they've managed to keep going. But they have managed to be on a national level now and out of the country. And she was just talking about how oftentimes it's difficult just to make it right here in Richmond. So to be Stellar nominated, being right here from Richmond, and the thing that's constantly spoken out, which is, again, a big part about why speaking is so important.
Right.
People just don't feel like, or at least it's been the experience from her experience and others' experiences, that being right here from Richmond, Virginia is difficult because sometimes people don't support their own. So it's
Right.
a challenge because though we have the talent here, oftentimes it's difficult for others to come in and support shows or songs, or even a show like this right out of Richmond, Virginia, that can be seen national.
So you're
around the
talking
world.
about the importance of also networking.
Networking is
That's
extremely
a big, huge word. And expound a little bit, John, on having a positive mindset.
Well,
Yeah.
you have to believe in yourself and believe in others, but I want to go back to something you always said: teamwork makes the dream work. And you have a good team around you, a manager, your father, background singers, talented people that have been where you're going, guiding you along the way. You always said no one person has done anything great without the help of others.
That's true.
You've got to have good people
it's
around
not
you,
possible.
and
Do
that's
anything great.
that's the
By
end
yourself.
result. Yes, of having good people.
No man or
supporting
woman is
you.
an island.
Right.
And that's
Right.
scripture right there. Larry said, no.
Yeah.
And then in this industry, you're always going to have challenges
Yeah.
in the entertainment industry because people are not going to believe in you. People are going to hate. They're going to try to knock you. Then you're going to have some people that's going to try to rip you off. And in a lot of instances, you do get ripped off to a point.
For real. I'm glad you brought that up.
It's just a matter of,
Yep,
okay,
that's
how
true.
much am I
That's
going
true.
to get ripped off?
Right.
And
You have to understand the business of entertainment.
Exactly.
You have to learn it.
And so by you investing in your son, it's not stop making that noise, stop banging, get on my nerves. It's none of that. Hey, he has something going here. So let's try to develop that. Let's see where this goes. It's you having the patience as a father to say, okay, he has something going here, let me invest in this, instead of another pair of tennis shoes or baby Timbs or whatever.
So since we don't have much time left, can we kind of summarize a little bit about what has been learned here tonight for the audience? Because we want to make a positive difference to people that's watching the show and listening to the show. What are some of the things that we think that can be passed on to our listening audience and the people who are watching that we discussed tonight?
Well, what I would speak to the audience, especially parents, whether you're a single parent or a two-home parent, just, be willing to sacrifice time, with your kids. One, monitoring them, observing them, seeing what they like and see what they're good at. And then, depositing, into their futures now, not when they get 15, 16 years old or when they get 9 or 10. Start doing it now. The other thing is find a balance. Christian plays football, basketball, he reads, he does, TV show. These things help him balance. So Christian stays busy.
He's normal. Yeah, I don't know about that, but he thinks he's normal.
So balance is what I would say, John.
exactly.
Okay,
Balance.
okay, young man, what message would you like to give to the youth
To the youth,
of America and the world?
I want to say
Never know who's watching.
to all of the youth, it's it's okay to praise God, because I know there's a lot of kids today that just want to fit in with all the kids, all the groups, but it's okay to praise God, and God sees what you're doing, because they said God's coming back soon, and so just don't always want to fit in with other people, but be yourself and just don't be like other people, because God created you in his own way for you to be who he called you to be.
Fantastic. Dr. Dowl, if you can take 10 seconds and just hold up each book and then let John close us out, we appreciate it, because you've taken time to write these wonderful books. Give us the name of the books.
This
Tell
one,
people how can they get in contact.
this one, which Grace is Christian, face is the one we did projects on, eradicating saggy pants syndrome. This book is all about African American males and how to get them to move forward productively in education. This is called The Pain and Pleasure. It's about those things that are good when they're good, but they become painful. This is just about new beginnings, responding to the call. And this is my most recent book. You can get these on my website at www.lawrencebollard.com. Again, that's www.lawrencebollard.com. You can go on. You can see some of the things that I do, and you can also purchase my books. You can get in contact with me there and communicate with me there. And so, Christian,
how can we get the CD?
To buy my CD, you can buy it on iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon Music.
What's the name of it again?
Speak It. All of the executive producers, Brandon Anderson and my dad, Lawrence Bollard. You can go and email all of these people at bjabooking@gmail.com. Make sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Official Christian Bollard. And the phone number, I don't know if you remember, but it's 804-869-4708. You can find all this on the back.
All right, John, close us out.
And we will post all this information on our website, folks. What a powerful show. Until next time, for our co-founder, executive producer, Larry Brown, thanks for joining us. I know you don't like doing this, but it was a lot of fun. Gotta have you again. Christian, good to see you again. Congratulations, Lawrence. Congratulations.
Thanks, John.
Folks, this has been Listen Up a Minute. Until next time, take care.